Hello, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel where we're documenting me making my first feature film. I want to talk to you about how last week went. I'm going to tell you the highs, the wins, the challenges, and what we're going to go for next week. So I'm so happy you're here. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, and let me know in the comments if there's any topics on filmmaking you want me to discuss. But this is just me documenting what it's like to really make a feature film. There's nothing quite like this out in the ether of the internet. And the most fun part of filmmaking is the process. And so many people don't get to see what that is. And so I want to demystify it for you so you get to have some fun along in the journey without doing the hard work, because I'm going to be doing the hard work, but I'm going to be taking you along with me. So let's get into it. So last week was some highs were really, it was a really, really nice week. So this was week number 2 of me decompressing after crowdfunding. I think you can tell I'm a little bit more myself. I'm a little bit more grounded, and it is so needed. I crowdfunded for technically 30 days, but I actually ended up doing it for 2 months because I did a whole month before crowdfunding. I primed the audience. So priming is just making people aware through interactions of videos via, what is it called? It's when people see your content enough, that impressions. So giving people impressions that you will be making videos. So for a month before crowdfunding, I basically was making videos, letting people know that something was coming. And then 30 days, I sent every day, emailing people, DMing people, making videos, a lot of behind the scenes. And it was really tiring, so much the fact that I plan to take 2 weeks off to recoup, because next week is really, really fucking exciting. And I can't wait to tell you all about it in coming up. But the highs of this week was that I really got to recover and really get back into, well, I guess, okay, I'll tell you what the exciting thing is for next week. I am going to be getting back into writing. Ta-da! So what's really exciting is being a director writer, my mindset is switching. So I feel like I have different hats, literally. And I just had a producer hat on, right? Where I was crowdfunding to get the funds, telling people about our project, getting people hyped up. And now I get to take it off, put on a new one, and put on my writing hat. So I'm really excited. So for this week, I really kind of focus on making that pivotal switch, which will start next week on Monday, which will start tomorrow when you're watching this. And I'm going to be reintegrating with my story. So this week I've been slowing down. It's been so chill, but I also have been slowly writing again. Every day I've been writing for 10 minutes, and I'm getting used to writing every day. Writing every day is not fun. This is where the hard work really shows up, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So yeah, but this week was great because I just got to kind of chill and recover, and I feel like it really helped. Okay, let's get into the challenges. So the challenges of last week, I think, are, to be honest, not a lot of challenges because I'm just kind of chilling. However, there are some things I need to still do. I still need to make sure I get all the funds for my crowdfunding event. And it's really easy to get ahead of yourself for writing. So I'm just trying to remember what the goal is, which is just to write every day. And then once I get that habit down, once I actually carve out the time to be writing, I will then make my game plan to work on the script. So I think a challenge is just being a little apprehensive for the week to come, but that's nothing really. So yeah. So next week is exciting. So Monday, I'm now switching into writing again, and it'll be a really cool thing to witness. We'll see how it comes across, but I feel very different when I'm producing versus when I'm writing. Writing is very internal. It's very scary too. A big reason why people don't finish their works as filmmakers is because of writing. It's writing every day, and it's it's a 90-page script. It's literally like a book. And so putting in the reps to really go for that is hard. It's hard carving out days because it's going to be days where I'm not going to want to write. And like I said, it's really easy to sabotage yourself if you say, oh, well, if I can't even, if I feel bad about the pages I'm generating or editing, I'm not going to write today, right? So it's something to really counteract that is there's this really good book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And it's how I actually accomplished Flowers, my short film. But you don't have to read the book, just listen to the audiobook on Audible. And so that's what I did. And I'm going to re-listen to that now. I've been re-listening to Story by Robert McKee. Story by Robert McKee is a really great book. If you're a filmmaker, if you want to learn more about story, it's really great. I had a mentor tell me, I think he's a mentor now. I don't know how you classify that. I don't know if a mentor is someone that tells you they're a mentor, if they're just casually mentoring you, whatever. We'll see. It's been a month. We'll see if it continues. But I say that because the way I met this guy was very unexpected. So, yeah. But it's been very valuable, everything he's been teaching me. So, and he's a filmmaker and a producer in Hollywood. So, but he encouraged me to revisit Story, and he said, listen to the audiobook, which I never did. And Robert McKee reads it out loud. So I have the book with me, but I'm also listening to it in my car all the time. That's why I started last week, just listening to it all the time, seeing what percolates in my head. And I will do the same thing with James Clear's Atomic Habits. Hopefully I'll do that today or tomorrow. And what's really important is creating a system. Make sure that my first step is not like making anything great. The first step is really carving a system and a habit where I'm writing every day again. Because then once once it's not hard to show up to the page, that's where the real work begins. So I've been sort of very softly prepping that for this last week just by writing every day. And some tricks are that you write and then you end before you're like exhausted while you're still happy. So it will kind of get you in the flow of like, oh, that I remember that was fun. I'm going to go back and do it. So it's a lot. So on Monday, I'm going to really try and write every day. That's when the challenge starts. And I think what I'm really going to do on Monday, I have to kind of plan this out. I think tomorrow when this video comes out, I'll be planning on what I'll be doing. Or we can do it now, actually. But I think the first day I'm going to get my script and reread it. It's a script that I wrote a year ago during my writer's retreat. I was going to do another edit in September and I didn't do it. And that's okay. That's okay. But I'm going to reread it and I'm going to replace myself into the story and I'm going to take notes on the side of it. I'm going to take notes of, ooh, this works. Oh, this doesn't work. I'm confused here. I'm not confused here. This is interesting. Any notes I have about it without being so judging, but from a lens of someone that hasn't watched it before or read it, that will be day one. And then I think day two, I'm going to come back at it. I really need to plan this stuff. So my main overarching goal is to get a whole new revision of the script. So I'm going to see what happens at the end of my first pass, my first script. I have a feeling that my structure is a little wobbly. So I'm probably going to, on day 2, 3, or 5, or the next week, I'll probably go back into outlining. Something I need to really focus on, and this is the really hard part about writing, is specificity, clarity. I need to now zone in. My film, if I remember correctly, it has all of these amazing emotional beats and these visual cues and so many amazing storylines that really do plump up the story. But it kind of feels like this really plumpy balloon with like multiple molds and like it feels like multiple pillows. And I really want to shrink it down into one solid pillow, one solid balloon, so that when people are looking and enjoying the film, they know where to go instead of it being kind of like all over the place. And so that means that really going back into the script and saying, okay, what is the defining moments and what is the real through line between all of these scenes, and how do we then curate every scene to really attach itself to that? And that means that I'm going to have to let a lot of stuff go, and I can't be precious. And this is part of the reason why I crowdfunded before I did finish my full script. And it's very normal, if you're new here, it's very normal for filmmakers to edit your script basically up until shooting day. It's insane because it's always evolving. But the reason why I did crowdfunding before I really finalized this film was two things. It's to get the budget, but the more important thing too is it helps me in my head when I have people that are now invested. It helps force me into decisions. It's what helped me with Flowers. It forces me to clarify. Is it the best method of doing that? Maybe not. Maybe in a perfect world I would do that before I crowdfund, but I noticed it helps me, so that's why I did this. I've been working with this script for 3 years, and now it's time to really be like, okay, Nick, you've worked in this world. Let's specify. Let's be clear. What is the main character going after? What is the audience going through? And I think clarity, once I become really clear with what every scene is and I eliminate a lot of the fluff, what I've heard, and hopefully this is the case, is that actually gives it fluff. By being really specific, it actually allows more volume to the story. So that's what I'm hoping for. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be easy. But that's the goal. So I think first week, I'm really going to focus on re-outlining. I'm going to look at the script, and I'm going to, because there's a couple of things I need to work on as a writer. I'm not great at revising. I'm not great working out of outlines. So this is also a great process for me to really learn how to do those things correctly or to benefit me more. And so one way is I will read the script again, and then I'll do an outline. Or another thing is I'll read the script and I'll do revisions in the scenes. So I'll go through the scenes. I'll see which ones are working, which ones aren't. I think there are like 3 questions. Like, is it moving the plot? Is it moving the plot forward? Is it revealing something about character? And is it thematic? I think it's like those 3, and it needs to hit all 3 of those things for it to be a good scene. I might be wrong. But I'm probably going to go to chat and figure out what questions I need to ask. I'm going to go through all the scenes and see which ones are strong. And yeah, and then I'll probably look at those, and then I will probably re-outline. And then I will probably do a whole other draft again. And then that will be hopefully in all of March. I'm hoping by the end of March I'll have a new draft. It might bleed into April too. My goal is that I'm now going to set up a writing routine where I'm writing every day up until hopefully shoot day. So, and I don't know when shoot day is. It might be in fall or it might be next year. Well, I'll keep you in the loop. There's a couple of variables. It depends where our story is. But I'll keep you in the loop. And so next week is when we start really cementing the habit in, and we start really getting back into writing. So I'm excited. I'm nervous. It's scary because you have to be very honest with yourself and what is working, what's not working. But I know I can do this, and I'm going to try, and that's all that matters. So I'll see you next week. I post every Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Let me know if you enjoy this, and let me know if you have any writing tips at all. Do you write at all? Do you have anything about process you like, you don't like? I have some experience writing. I've done scripts, but I'm also learning as we go too. So I think it's important to remember that you're always learning. So yeah, thanks for being here. Remember to subscribe and like, and yeah, do all that jazz. We do have a Patreon. We have a membership now, so check that out if you want to support the channel and get early access to videos. I'm also going to create some fun badges in the future. If you join and you have any ideas what you would want that to be, let me know. But yeah, thanks for being here, and I'll see you soon. Bye.